Hello and welcome. My name is Brandon Riley, Vice President with Valor Worldwide, the military community's first choice in military resource information for the last 30 years. I'm going to take the next couple of minutes to discuss what we've done, how we can help your business, and talk about the technology that's going to be dramatically affecting your company both today and moving forward. So let's jump right in. First and foremost, I want to talk about what's going on with voice technology, how it's affecting your business, and then how your consumers interact with you and your company, and more importantly, how they find you. We've recently partnered with Amazon, one of the biggest companies in the world, to develop a first of its kind military resource skill. I'll go into that a little bit further, but why Amazon? Well, the reality is that Amazon recognizes that consumer behavior is shifting to voice. They went to market first and early, and they currently dominate with over 90% of the voice market share. In fact, it doesn't stop there. Amazon projects that over 100 million more Alexa voice devices will be purchased in the United States inside of the next 12 months. And by 2020, both Amazon, Google, and Microsoft all project that consumer behavior will shift so dramatically that 3 in 4 homes in the US will have a voice device. And they're going to be using it to find information, businesses, resources, and access everything that we're currently doing on our computers, all through the sound of their voice. Now, my big question for you and your business is, are you aware of this? Are you prepared for the big shift in consumer behavior? And do you have a plan to compete in a voice-driven economy? Let's talk about our company and how we can help you take advantage of that. Now, as I mentioned, for the last 30 years, we've been the go-to for the military community. That's your active, retired, veteran, civil service, reservist, guard, and their families, providing the information that they want, need, use, and keep, and it's all information that they can't find anywhere else. Now, with this partnership with Amazon, we've been able to take this massive database of resource information and deliver it right into this community's homes through their voice devices. And we're going to be the exclusive provider of this information on the Alexa voice device. Let me go a little bit more in depth. That means every single person in the military that's asking for base phone numbers, military medical center information, veterans assistance programs, VA programs, they're going to be talking to their device, and it's going to be our skill that's populating those results with the information they can't get elsewhere. Why is that so important? Well, if you look at the screen, you'll see most user behavior on the Alexa devices, they're looking for information, and we're going to be the ones there to provide it. Now, the big question, what does it have to do with you and your business? Well, along with the information we're providing, we are the exclusive company on Amazon that offers the military discount. What that means to you and your business is any military consumer that asks Alexa for a military discount, the only businesses it will recommend are our business partners in your local market, because it's all focused geographically, which means you have an opportunity to be the main provider in your local market of military discounts when they turn to this device, which, by the way, is happening every single day. In fact, as of right now, already 1 in 4 of every Google searches are done by voice, and these devices are going to continue to make us voice-driven rather than online computer search-driven. As well as that, we're being very selective, which is why we reached out to you when we first broke into your market to specifically find the right businesses who are military-friendly, who offer military discounts, which makes you a preferred provider with our community. Not only that, but we're going to continue to grow and develop this skill. Now, let's talk a little bit more about why the military is so important to your business, not just how they're finding you through our platforms, but why it's so important that you want more military business. First and foremost, they are the biggest impact dollar in the market. They represent the lion's share in most cases of the money being spent in your economy. The military community also has 37% higher discretionary spending power. That means dollar for dollar, they have more money to spend versus civilians once they pay all their bills. That's more money to come in and spend at your business. And the average military household income ranges between $50,000 and over $120,000 a year, which is on average usually 30% higher than what the civilian average household income is in different marketplaces. Not only that, but if you really take a moment to think, and I want you to think about this, the military community is the only recession-proof economy on the planet. They are the only people that get a guaranteed paycheck every single month that's never going to bounce, no matter what's going on in the marketplace, the housing market, the stock market, or the economy. Think about that for a moment and how important the military is to your business. Now, let's not stop there. A lot of people think the military live, work, and stay on base, and that's just not the reality. In fact, over 80% of active duty military live off base, and 60% of that 80% own their home versus renting, with average home prices fluctuating between several $100,000 to over $1 million. The reality is they live in the best neighborhoods and the worst neighborhoods and everything in between, but they're in our community, they're shopping, they're working with businesses like yours. Now, that's just the active duty. Let's not forget, and did you know that Washington State has the second largest veteran population in the country and one of the largest retired military populations in the world? Now, what a lot of people don't realize, the military doesn't retire at 65. They retire at 42, which means these folks are getting checks every single month for their retirement while they're working civilian jobs, meaning they have 2, 3, 4 incomes every single month, which again equates to more opportunity for them to do business with you. Now, let me take a moment to demonstrate what I'm talking about with this Alexa skill so you can see an example of how important it is to be a part of the Ask Uncle Sam skill. Great, now that you've had an opportunity to see in real time how the Ask Uncle Sam dramatically changes the way the military community interacts with their Alexa devices, let's talk a little bit about the successes we've had. As you've seen on the screen here, we've worked with some of the biggest companies in the world. However, please don't let that intimidate you. In fact, we just closed the Tacoma, Washington market serving our Joint Base Lewis McChord military community as well as our retired and veteran population in the area. And of the thousands of businesses who took advantage of this opportunity, over 90% of them are small to medium-sized companies who recognize they could not afford to miss this revolution of voice technology. Now, why have we been so successful leading up to this point over the last 30 years? Well, it all began with a hard copy print resource that over the years we've distributed hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of copies throughout the area to the military community. And then 2 years ago, we jumped into the 21st century, launching a state-of-the-art online military search browser. Now, let me be clear. This is not a search engine that scours the web looking for this information, because that information we provide is not there. We've invested over 50,000 man-hours to cultivate the largest database of its kind with information for active, retired, and veteran military communities around the world. Again, information they can't get anywhere else. In fact, that's part of why this site has been so successful and had millions of uses in local markets over the last 2 years. Now, let's take a moment to tour this site so you can better understand how it positions you and your company. Great. Now that you've had a chance to see how well the site performs and how we're going to position you and your business as a preferred military provider, let's dig a little bit more into the statistics and what type of results we're seeing from the users on our site. First and foremost, as I mentioned, this site has millions and millions of views since its launch throughout the different markets that we provide these resources for, as well as the engagement on the site. When someone goes to our site looking for information, they're going to spend time investigating, digging in, and getting engaged with our site. In fact, our site time is over 4 minutes on average. To put that into perspective, if you've done any digital marketing on our website before, you may or may not know the average consumer is spending 15 to 30 seconds on a site, which is very little time for them to find you and engage with you, whereas our average user is spending over 4 minutes. Imagine a chance for you to have an opportunity to position your business in front of a potential customer for an average of over 4 minutes at a time. That's branding and sales opportunities. Speaking of sales, we have a tremendous click-through rate. In fact, 60 to 65% of people viewing ads on our site are going to engage with them. What that means in layman's terms is 6 out of every 10 potential customers that look at your ad on our site are going to be clicking to call you, clicking to map to your location, or engaging with your website to potentially do a purchase with you. Now, again, I don't know how many times your phone has to ring or your doorbell has to ring before your cash register rings, but with conversion rates like that, I'm sure you can see the opportunity for return on your investment on this site. Now, what are they doing on the site when they get there? Of course, they're turning to our resource information, all the data that we have, but would it surprise you to know the most frequently used section of our site is actually our business section? Now, why would that be? Well, put yourself in the shoes of a military consumer. You're new to the area potentially. Your husband or wife's on deployment and you're having to do something with the kids, find family activities, etc. They're going to turn to a provider that they know has the businesses that they can trust. Think of an Angie's List meets Google. This is that for the military. Now, what that means is we're positioning you not only in front of the community, but in the context as a trusted and preferred provider. And that, quite frankly, is advertising you can't just go write a check for. Now, what else do we do? Well, as I mentioned, for the last 30 years, we've been connecting the military community with the information that they need that they can't get elsewhere. We've also been connecting businesses with this massive market that has such a huge impact on their business for the last 30 years. What that's allowed us to do is leverage our time-tested and trusted relationship with the local community to help not only them, but also our business partners be successful. And we're very honored to work with the military community on a day in and day out basis. And we're very proud that a portion of every advertising sale is given directly back into supporting hundreds and hundreds of nonprofit veterans assistance programs whose sole mission is to help veterans get the help and the resources that they need and, quite frankly, they deserve. And this is an opportunity for you to be a part of that as well. So let me hand this back over to your representative so they can explain exactly what it looks like for you to get started with us today. Thanks for your time. Thanks for listening. And I'm happy that we're going to be working with you.